Whew.
Well,
We're back. We're back. Jack, how you doing?
need to lie down after the show tonight, mate. So yeah, in the green room, we were just saying, thankfully, puff cheeks and the lot. Yeah, happy days, mate. Got it over the line. One game closer as you and Grays, and when you've done many shows already this season with the lads and everyone on Anfield Index, one game closer to what we want to be doing, and that's the main thing tonight.
8 to go.
Yeah.
8 to go.
Yeah.
So, 12 points clear.
Yeah.
Oof. My God, you can't ask for anything better than that, can you? Really? Let's be honest. That's just fantastic. I think we could be really critical because I thought the first half performance was pretty poor. Jack, didn't think it was our best tonight, but there were some standouts I thought today that were good, and I think the first one we should point out is Curtis.
Right back, Cafu, a bit. I don't know.
He just was solid all game. I don't think he put a foot wrong, and that clearance, even though it was offside, at the end. Oh my God, what a clearance with his left foot in that defensive.
It says a lot though, Gags. It's not his natural position, is it? Like, I think I don't know how you felt coming into this game, and I don't know chat as well, but I was a bit like one of them. But he done a job, mate, and that's all you can ask for him, as you said.
I actually was really confident that he'd do a great job there. I don't think Everton have got too much on the wings.
Yeah.
Especially down that side. Well, maybe not that answer, but he's fast. He's strong. He's tall. He's not going to get pushed off. He's the scouser in the team right now. He's the scouser in the team maybe next year as well. But he's the guy, and he's dependable, and you could see that Slot trusted him. Implicitly there. That was fantastic from Curtis Jones. Held the ball well, passed it well, kept it simple when he needed to, broke forward when he needed to, sat in between the midfield and attack when he needed to. Like, what more could you ask from him today? I thought.
Yeah, it's I think even coming out of possession as well. I think that's one area of Liverpool's game that, as you said, the first half was disappointing. We'll certainly go through that tonight, mate. But I think even when he got the ball, it was interesting, the spaces in which he was picking up. I think the way in which him and Gravenberch very much did interchange. There was certainly a no understanding down that right-hand side. Obviously not his most natural position. Certainly not his most natural position, Jones. But I think it took a bit of a while, but certainly, mate. Diaz, another player, mate, probably we'll speak about tonight.
We should.
And yeah, he was he was relentless, mate, for me. I think it was the game just before the international break that me and you spoke about. He didn't obviously get a goal or whatnot a couple of weeks ago, but again, I think the first 45 minutes, as we'll speak tonight, but his tenacity, his ability to, in a game where against O'Brien, a big physical lad himself down that right-hand side for Everton, but yeah, the tenacity. And I think if a game that Salah it was a difficult game for Salah because he was marked out of the game for the majority of it. But yeah, Diaz, a little bit of a bright spark that Liverpool certainly did need tonight.
I thought he was the best of a shite bunch first half. And then he was a standout when he was on the pitch second half. The amount of recoveries as well he had today, I think he was assist for the goal as well in the end. But he just was relentless, like you said. He kept on going at him, didn't give up, even though that defender kept sticking his foot out at the end and just, poking it. Like, he was beating him, and then that guy was so tall with his long legs was just getting a block in at the last second every time. So Diaz was ripping him down there. So it was really good. I thought for once Diaz looked like he's ready. I think the international break did Diaz well. I know he scored as well while he was away. So I think it did him really well. He's come back really fresh, really fresh and ready to go. We need it, man. I mean, did we need that from him? We really did. And I think Mo's going to take a bit of while to probably recover from just getting all the food back in his body and things like that. I mean, those were the two standouts. Let's be honest, right? I thought Dom worked hard, didn't do much. Mac was really poor today.
Yeah,
Grav was non-existent today. It was. Dude, I mean, yeah. Thank you so much, Chris, for the super chat. 1 down, 8 to go. Now sort the contracts. I don't know when the contracts will be sorted, but that's a chat for another day. But we have to talk about the centre backs today, dude.
Beto had a goal in the net, one offside. Thankfully, it was offside, and that goal that was very much given as offside. I've never seen that all season, mate. That was embarrassing. It was like we're not talking about R9. We're talking about Beto. No disrespect to the lads, but it's Beto. He's even though he scored against us a couple of weeks ago, but even still, we made him look like one of the best strikers in Europe at certain moments tonight. 120-minute game for Holland's Gags and Chat. Yeah. He looks very leggy, and it's quite concerning that he's looking this leggy with so many games left to go. But I don't know.
No, I think we're okay. I think we're going to be all right. The reason why we're going to be okay, mate, is because there's this one on Fulham is probably a tough one, but at the end of the day, let me just share this as well. One sec. I think is that sharing? Yeah, we're good. What I was going to say to you, once the Fulham game's out the way, that's it. Then it's one game a week. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I think you'll start seeing the best of this team as we get into that last end of the season, where they'll have so much more rest in between games, and I reckon Stott will probably give them some time off as well after each game. When it gets to that one game a week, you probably start seeing the best of this team as it gets wrapped up. To be honest, in 3 or 4 games time, I think you give them 2 more wins, and I think Arsenal will start to just focus on. Well, I hope Arsenal just focus on Real Madrid now and really give Everton the points on Saturday, because they're playing a kickoff, noon kickoff with Everton at Goodison. So, Woodison's. Let's hope Everton win. Like, we're all Everton supporters on Saturday.
Whoa.
We don't really need to be, but why not? I want this title wrapped up next week, 2 weeks.
So that would just we'd only need, if Everton done the business and we won against Fulham, that would be 3 wins we'd need, and then just 1 draw. So that would be nice. But as Everton, I think they've got the next 5 the games tonight, and obviously the other 4 against the bigger teams in the division as well. But those stats, mate, if you want to go through them, they are very good reading for quite a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the shame is that they had 2 big chances and we only had the 1. I mean, that's pretty shameful, really. We couldn't really create much. I was worried a little bit that we weren't creating enough. And the reason why our XG is high is just because of the sheer number of shots we had, 17. So you can look the shot. I mean, there's some inside here, but this is not a good place to shoot from.
No.
These look at the XGs on these. Very low chance of scoring on all those. This one, Konate was the header in the first minute, so that's a big chance. That's literally our only big chance in the game, because the Jota one isn't given as a big chance. So that's pretty poor, from us for the game, and we gave away some real big ones here.
Is it the Alcaraz one, the fourth?
This one as well, Alcaraz. Yeah. It's not a big chance. I think these 2 are the ones that are given as big.
The better one,
and that better one. So, but
Did you quickly on that one, mate? Or chat, let us know. On the commentary, I said it was good positioning from Keller. I liked the way in which the speed in which he come out quickly, narrowed down the angle. Obviously, it was a poor finish by Beto in the end, but even still, I do think his positioning rushed Beto's positioning. Really, that was just one aspect. I don't know how you feel on that chance, but I don't know. It was one of them.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we got away with everything today, which was nice.
Yeah.
The defending of the centre backs, going back to that, was so shocking. And even Ibu, didn't get to play much in the international break. I know he travelled away, but you'd think he'd be a bit fresher. And I guess he's also recovering like Mo, but he's much younger than Mo. You'd think he'd get back into it pretty much quicker. It depends on whether they celebrated Eid on Monday or Sunday. Now, if they celebrate it on Monday, it's not really giving them too much of a chance to recover, I think, or get into the normal routine of their food and digesting it and all that. But if they did it on Sunday, then you'd think they'd be a bit closer. I don't know how it works, to be honest. I'm no nutrition king or expert, but I was hoping they would. But hopefully we start to see, these guys get better. Get better. Let's read some of these. Mateus, before the match started, I thought I would take a win in any shape or form. We need to get back on track winning ways. After those, we did. So that's exactly what happened. Tarkowski made over his way to speak to McAllister after finding his whistle. He knew Yeah, we've got to talk about Tarkowski in a minute. 4 wins. Let's go, Gags. Thank you, Manu. 4 more wins, Mr. Jefferson says. Sai Gopal says, I wanted to take a moment away from the game, Gags. Wanted to thank you for republishing Jumpers for Goalposts pods. It made my love for the club deeper and is the best content about the club. Rest in peace, Yan. And I'll close on a few words for Yan as well. I don't know how I'm going to do that, but I'm going to try. Not as brave as Dave Hendrick to do a full 30 minutes on that. I thought Diaz looked amazing today, and Curtis Jones really surprised me there in an unusual position. Van Dijk, amazing as ever. I don't think Van Dijk was amazing at all, but I thought the other two you're right on. Yep, hi Dara. And then just read all the stats, not blown out of the water, but the area we really struggled is the dual stats. A bit better today, not amazing. Agreed, we were terrible in duels again. Escape from Alcatraz. How has Howard Damon says, has Howard Webb apologized yet on behalf of PGML lads for the red card? So let's talk about that as a nice segue. Where does that rank for you, Jack, in decisions not being given in comparison, say maybe to the Curtis Jones goal? The Curtis Jones, was there a red? The Robbo,
the Diaz disallowed
the Diaz goal.
Yeah.
Curtis getting a red, Robbo getting a red on Harry Kane a few years back. Like, where does this rank? It's
the worst. I'm approaching 30 this year, surprisingly. That is probably one of the worst decisions I've ever seen, mate. It's full on assault on a football pitch. It is an absolute utter. And I said on the watch along, I said if that was a Liverpool player, I'd be saying it was a red card. Doesn't matter if it was on a Liverpool player or whatnot. That was horrendous. Absolutely, the sheer lack of control. I think the most important thing, and like Sky, and the main thing was got the specification or the proper definition of a red card: dangerous play, endangering opponents, lack of control, and the fact that I literally put my headphones on at half time, took it off, and I went to speak to chat, and I literally had my headphones on for 2 seconds, and Duncan Ferguson says it's a straight red, and I went, thank you, that's enough for me. Big Duncan loved a red card, and if he's saying it's a red card, yeah, it's
everybody. Even Neville on commentary was straight. Yeah. He was lucky to be on the pitch. Like there was no bias from anyone. Maybe the foreign TV outlets, or maybe American. There was Lee Dixon saying it wasn't or something because he's an idiot. But literally everyone, the most biased against it. You'd think Duncan Ferguson would be biased against us. You think Gary Neville would be biased against us. Yeah. All of them called it red. I think the referee in the Sky studio called it a red.
Yeah.
Everyone called it a red. And yet they didn't even send the ref to the monitor, because I think if you'd seen it properly again, and the way it almost, like, it could, that's a leg breaker, man.
Snapped his leg, mate.
I'm not surprised Maka had a shit game after that.
Like, it was going to say the referee was trying to get sides on, wasn't he, mate? Like, I don't know, but even so, VAR, that's what we've had this conversation so many times on the show, mate, this season, haven't we? Where, and you and the other lads, like, the VAR's there to help the referees. When it's not getting introduced for the right moments, what's the point?
Yeah. It was awful. And you know what? At this point, this is probably the talking point, and this is probably where people are going to say I'm being stupid or being a conspiracy theorist. But at this point now, I actually believe some of these refs are given a directive to try and make this a title race, because Sky don't make any money, right, out of it not being a title race. Out of this being done a month early is the worst possible scenario for Sky, because no one's watching the football after that. They're just not interested. You know, it's literally just the neutrals is where the money is, Jack. Yeah. The neutrals is where everyone's interested, because there's a title race. Everyone wants to watch what's going on. It's going to be ebbs and flows, whatever. Yeah. But when it's a one-sided title race, people are like, I don't want to watch. I'm going to go out with my friends. I'd just rather go and do something else. I'd rather go play football than watch it. And I sometimes feel like they try and do these things to try and level the game and try and make it close or tighter, and hopefully a team then buckles under the pressure when they're so far ahead, because they're getting into the challenges. They get so frustrated with the referees that they just fall away. I honestly believe, because some of these like reds and stuff, or these decisions are so obvious. it's impossible to believe that they actually think they're right. Like it really does this. And I know you're all going to say this is stupid conspiracy theories, Gags. I'm sorry, but I don't think that
they can't be that bad.
I just don't think they can be that bad in the heat of the moment. The whole point of having 3 referees on video is so they don't make a mistake.
And you got the 4th official, you got 2 linos.
All 3 of them can't be that stupid.
Yeah,
you know.
It's even the thing, like any player in the Premier League, if anyone gets tackled like that, it's endangering an opponent. If a Liverpool player done that, I'd be saying it was an awful tackle. There's warranted a red card. But as we said, you just mentioned Curtis Jones before. We've seen like why wasn't the referee getting taken to the monitor? And I know they've stopped this now, quite surprisingly, after Liverpool's games where they got told off for freeze-framing Curtis Jones as a tackle. And then it's like the lack of sheer consistency. And as Arne Slot said already to the rest, obviously, to where it was nearly another game, Gags, where we would have come away from a derby talking about a refereeing again performance. Yeah. Yes, Liverpool were poor, but even still, again, it's a damning indictment on the referees in the Premier League. And he's one of the younger vets as well. But yet again, it's a combination of him not getting in the right body position to be in the right area to spot it. And then even still,
I actually can forgive referees for missing things in the heat of the moment because they blink. It's so split second, right? But for a video referee to get it wrong, right? It's just criminal all the time. Even some of the Arsenal decisions that they've gone against them, it's criminal. Yeah. Like it's not just it's everything. Some of the Wolverhampton Wanderers decisions, like if you think we're hard done by, and I don't like Wolves, by the way, I don't like their fans. But if you go and see some of their bloody decisions that O'Neill had to put, Gary O'Neill had to put up with while he was their manager, I mean, it is a joke. How is not just Liverpool? This is a league-wide problem.
Yeah.
How are they getting away with this? Like, how are they? It's a This is a billion dollar business. Billion pound. Forget dollars. This is pounds. This is the most richest league, maybe outside of the NFL. The richest league for rights, everything, right? And yet you can't afford proper technology in your stadiums. You can't afford training your bloody referees. So if people are going to have stupid conspiracy theories, because there's no excuse for this level of absolute shite.
Yeah,
it is negligence from the Premier League at the highest order. You just have all of these resources, Jack. I'm sorry.
We're all sitting at home with one monitor. They've got about like the Stephen on Sky and like the Gantry and like as a director queuing all the camera angles. They're going, yeah, we'll show that and show that. It's but as you said, it brands itself as the Premier League as the best league. And the most concerning thing is La Liga, I think it was this month or whatever, have been asking a bit more. The concerning thing is the referees around Europe. Do you look at the Premier League referees and they're meant to be the standard bearer? They're meant to be the best in the business, are they?
No,
no. I don't even get that. Like they aren't from us as Premier League fans or as Liverpool fans or whatnot. But that just goes to show the lack of quality. It's quite concerning. But thankfully, we got a Jota goal. It could have been very different tonight if it wasn't the case. But
this is a funny one from Damo. How anxious must referees be going to? Hey, mate, their end-of-year appraisals are them all going up to Thailand, apparently, with getting all the girls, if you want to call them that. But, you know, that's what's happening. That's you've seen the pictures of, what was his name? The one who got sacked. Cute. We say Kuti, but there's like, they're all like... You know, it makes you think as well when they're all going on these holidays afterwards together as refs. Little referees union and little old boys club. We've got some new boys coming in making mistakes. You saw how Coot was talking about managers and players, right?
And the pressure, of course, it's big pressure.
You actually think that not every other referee is doing that? They are. Well, they've got their biases. They've got their They've got certain managers that they hate. And let me tell you something. To be a referee, you need to be appraised properly in terms of personality. They've got to have these values and qualities of living their life with their purpose of being fair. I don't think that exists in any of these refs. They can't. This Premier League billion-pound entity cannot even train up or find. I mean, it's just absolutely rubbish when you look at it. I'm a man manager and a people manager now, right? And I recruit and I hire, and I'm looking at people that are going to fit my team, people that are going to fit the job, people that are going to actually fit the culture of what I'm trying to build. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. Not at all. And that is a shit show. Hire me. I will fucking kick all their asses, man. And I wouldn't be biased towards Liverpool because that would be my fucking job. I apologize for swearing, YouTube. I apologize. It's just a joke. Awful. Awful. The Nunes card was justified because he rolled on the pitch and therefore time wasting. So all of us that are shouting, why did Nunes get booked? Because he was being an idiot. And actually it was like Maka went over to him and rolled him on. So Maka's lucky he didn't get booked for it. So it's fine. No, I'm not asked about that. And also, it wasn't a penalty because the whistle was blown twice before Nunes even got there. So it's totally fine.
And the thing is, though, he's one of the younger refs, and he's getting dragged into it now. Like, he's getting dragged into the bad bunch of like disappointing performances. Like, and the thing is, it's the fact that you've got Ref Watch, you've got dedicated shows, and you've got Howard Webb and Michael Owen. It's like, where's this glamorization of poor refereeing performances? Why are we glamorizing poor refereeing performances? Referees, there shouldn't be shows. They should be allowed, technically, but we know they're not allowed. But next couple of seasons, they need to start coming out and explaining their decisions. Like, just explain the decision after the full-time whistle, and then the managers can deal with whatever the referee says, but they know they can't because it's impossible to try and explain that decision. As we've said tonight, it's a poor decision. The referee will know himself, but he's one of the younger refs. He'll learn from tonight. As you said, the VAR control room needs to be intervening straight away. If there's any example, that should be beamed around the world in terms of that decision, and it should be the main point going into next season of an example of where it doesn't even need any training, any qualified referees. Anyone that's played any form of football sees that's just such a lazy challenge, an absolute utter lack of control. But it is what it is. But main thing is Liverpool won, but could have been very different on the night.
And I think this is a great point. Mateo says, the scandal is out here after, time after time with his LFC history, still gets to influence Liverpool matches. I just, again, how do you explain it? It's unexplainable. Like, Arsenal fans will have it, Spurs, everyone will have it. Man United fans probably won't have it because they get stupid decisions all the time, or used to. It's probably nice they don't now. Who cares about Man United anyway? It's just, I thought it was worth a rant because, and I was thinking this when I was watching it. This just can't explain things sometimes. Thankfully, it did not affect the result. Thankfully, because it could have. And it has in the past, right? Like the 8 minutes of added time at Goodison.
The extra couple of seconds on that. It all adds.
Cost things, right? And Phil's here. Hey Phil, how you doing? How's your lad as well? It's not unexplainable, it's unacceptable. Yeah. It is unexplainable and unacceptable. But yeah, Jota. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Very poor performance. Very poor performance apart from the goal, I'm saying, apart from Anno over the last couple of weeks, months, whatever. He's been absolutely poo. But when he needed to turn up, thankfully, he's one player in the squad that can put a chance away if he gets one. And thank God for Jota today, because he finished that. And the bit before it with the skill, that is, I think Dan Kennett was saying it in the UP chat. That is like a trademark DO goal, That's what you call a DO goal.
Yeah.
Fantastic finish.
Love it, miss. And I don't know if you should probably see a little bit of me watch along chat. I was calling for him to come off 10, 15 minutes before that. That's probably why Twitter shut it down. Awful opinion anyway. But yeah, certainly Elon's none of there. Mustn't be a Liverpool fan. But yeah, it's one of them. It was yeah, it's it was one of them, mate. If there's one player that you could pick that opportunity, as you said, mate, he's there to score the goals. If he was a bit more consistent like that, but as I said, it was a poor performance, but at the end of the day, we won. He's there to do the job. I'd like to see a bit more from Jota this season, but it's the 2nd of April now. Obviously, whether he stays, whether he goes in the summer, whatever happens. But I think if he scores a couple of vital more goals like that, then he's certainly done his job, mate. But
mate, the goal deserves a league title medal on its own.
Yeah,
beating Everton, getting revenge for the Goodison game a few weeks, a month or so ago, and putting that behind us and getting the winner and sticking it to Doucouré is that's worth a league title on its own for him, like a medal for him, on its own. So I think he's going to be super, super confident now going into the last 8, and he should start above Darwin, who came on and was brainless once again at times. Bloody hell, like crazy. Honestly, the guy just, just because Macca's passing to you short passes and doing quick passes doesn't mean you have to pass it straight back to him, dude. Turn, run, get into the corner. What's he doing? Giving the ball away, and we give it away.
It was ready. It was. It made me laugh. I don't know if it did to you, or probably not all, because we weren't laughing at the time. But it's when he's off the pitch and he's become a cheerleader. It's like, lad, get back on the pitch, lads.
No, that's fine. I love that part from footballers. I love that from our players to G up the crowd when the crowd's quiet. G them up. One thing that we want in the stadium is players to interact with us. Do it more. We'll start jumping up and down, show us the emotion, show us that you give a shit, show us that you care. I need more players to interact with the crowd and get them going and do something, but have something about you on the pitch as well, dude.
I've never seen a player play with so much emotion. I don't know if you have, or like lack of control really at moments, but I suppose.
Right. I mean, he could have got sent off for telling to F off after he got a yellow. He could have got sent off straight there. If the ref was having a bad day, he would have sent him off, and he was, but we got lucky with that one. Thoughts? Subs coming on too late. We won the game. I think everything worked out. What do you think, Jack?
Endo, I think, coming on again. I'll tell you, hopefully he gets his plaudits come off the end of May. We do the business this season, mate. As I think he's probably been one of the most, not unsung heroes, because we love him. He's done a job, whatever happens if he goes or whatnot. But I think he might stick around next season, if I'm being honest. I think he's a very good squad option defensively. But yeah, the subs were needed. I think there's one thing in football, as you know, Gags, and everyone watching as well. Like sometimes in football, you can make too many changes and disrupt the rhythm of the team. I think with 10, 15 minutes left, I think Arne, the main thing was, I don't know how you feel, Gags, was he trusts the starting 11 on the pitch. That said to me, the back end of the game, he didn't quite trust all certain players on the bench, really, for me. Hence why he just wasn't really that proactive off the subs bench, if I'm being honest, apart from Endo coming on.
I mean, Gakpo's the surprising one, isn't it? I guess in training, Diaz is showing that what he just showed, was great. And up top, it's going to be a choice. And he probably said Diaz is looking so sharp, I need him on the wing rather than in the middle, because he's not going to affect the game in the middle as much. Let's be honest. Diaz in the middle is creating, making runs and stuff and doing his bits and maybe being an arse to central defenders and midfielders because he's a live wire in there and he's making an arse of himself and fouling them all the time. It's not needed in the game. We don't need to foul them, But on the wing, he's causing trouble. And I don't think Darwin should play ahead of Jota in any game, ever. Even if Jota's the worst player on the pitch, he's better than Darwin up front because he can score a header and he's gonna score. He could score like he did in that game, in that goal, like he did today. So you get the delivery right for Jota. He's gonna put it in. That's the difference. You can trust him to do that. You can't trust Darwin. So there were loads of people crying about Diaz and Jota starting again. I think the manager was justified at the end of the game. They both combined. Now the big question is this one from AG. Thoughts on Salah? When he's not on it, we struggle to create. In fact, I think
great points.
When we struggle to get Salah in the game, because that's what's happening, we're struggling to get him. So when there's no Trent or that type of player that's going to give him proper support around the right. Find it, find the pass, find the run. You know, those pings. VVD wasn't finding him fast enough today because he's having a poor game. Curtis is not the same player as Trent, because he's a dribbler, he's a carrier, whereas Trent's a passer, a direct passer that's going to find great balls, great passes. So you can see the difference in what we miss when Trent doesn't play.
Yeah,
because from deep we don't have the incisive passing, whereas Elliott does bring that if Trent's not playing. But Elliott's not trusted, because you saw that in 2 minutes in the final. He came on, created a goal for Chiesa within seconds, minutes.
Yeah,
that's the difference of a creative passer, and we didn't have that in the team today. So you saw Salah also relies on that to make his space, make his space, and he was 2 against 1 the whole game.
That's a massive concern for me, though, Gags, going to next season. Obviously, we'll do really well, but it's a great point, AG. Nice one was that comment, mate. Yeah, it's massive. I think, speaking about this season as well, subjectively, in terms of whatever happens with Trent if he goes, but I think we've just been so reliant on Trent, haven't we? Obviously, Robbo in his prime years, obviously he's getting a bit older now. But there needs to be, certainly, there will be an evaluation come at the end of the year in terms of the patterns of play, the way in which we play. Of course, Slot will be wanting to bring in a couple of fresh faces to very much stamp his authority on the team. But it does concern me, though, mate. If Trent is going, as we all know, probably. But if Salah's not in a game, as we've seen, I know we're flying high at the top of the league, and it's great to look at that. But I think even you can still be critical when you're winning as well. And I think that's the only way as a team and as a fan base as well, we can get better and better and better, because there's certainly still levels that we've all seen this season of Liverpool can certainly step. Maybe possibly, I think the rotation between the two sixes, I think a bit more freshness from Gravenberch, as we see in the beginning of the season, where he was able to just drop his shoulder, create that good 5-10 yards of space and really drive with the ball. But as we know, with the lack of not squad depth in certain areas of this team, I think Liverpool come at the back end of the season. We looked a bit fatigued, but maybe with a bit more energy, a bit more of a spark. But that's where the nerds in the summer will get paid their multi-millions, and correctly so, to do the job.
I think you covered it well there. I think that's the whole key, is how we replace. If Trent is the one who's going, and it looks likely that's the case now, how do we replace that incisive passing in the team, right? From deep or from up top? Who I think most struggles without a Gakpo in the team, because that far post option, lanky, tall, he can do headers, he can do flying, diving headers, he can do a whole load of stuff in there in terms of Gakpo at the far post, which the others strikers aren't doing. Hey, Dave, nice one. Thanks for joining us. I think. And also, thank you, Phil. Get the number up, folks. Please smash the thumb, and please do subscribe if you can. We'd love you for doing that. We're trying to grow. The other thing, I just think Mo needs some certain players that are going to make good runs into the box for him, so his passes are there, his crossings there, and I don't think he even had the opportunity today. Jota's kind of trying to get close to him to be that kind of foil for him, and Diaz is way too wide out when he's playing left wing. He doesn't make those runs inside on the far post as much. I think that's the difference of, look at a lot of Gakpo's goals are coming from that area, unless they're a worldie. So
what type of profile would you want, Gags or Chas? Do you think going into summer it'd be a bit more of a physical? Obviously, Cunha's quite good in terms of his link-up play. Check out, obviously, Dave and Bart's shows already on the YouTube and across all platforms, doing a great deep dive. But do you think it will be a bigger profile, more of a physical presence, to very much try and link up a bit more with Salah and Diaz? Or
two types. He always says he likes a Darwin because Darwin's going to run off defenders, right? So if you can afford an Isaac, right, fine. I know it's unlikely, but if you can afford an Isak and you swap some players like a Darwin, like a Jota or whatever to get him in, or maybe some defenders to get him in, then that player would do really well with him, because from deep, Mo is going to have a speedy, fast runner and a finisher in front of him that's going to be able to do stuff, or another one like him. But then if it is a Cunha, and I don't know much, but is Cunha more like a Bobby Firmino, or is a Pedro more like a Bobby Firmino? Because Salah's going to do really well with that type of player as well, because he's got history of playing really well with the Bobby type that holds up well, that can link up play, that can get in the box when needed and just take the right position. So there's a couple of things in there but Jota's very different to those type of players. Darwin's does a little bit of the Isaac, but is not as potent in front of goal. So he'll get the chance, but he's going to miss. And also, very,
Sporadic.
not the attitude, I'd say the temperament's not there. He'll lose his confidence really quickly. We need someone a bit more solid up here, can play with it, even if he misses a chance, it's going to go. So I think there's a couple of kind of playing styles that he likes. We know he loves playing with Darwin. He says it, but we also know he can play with a Mane and a Firmino. And I think the Mane type role, I think what's his name's trying to do this time. Gakpo's trying to get in the box and help. He's not. I'm not saying he's Mane. Mane is a totally different stylistic player to Gakpo, but he'd get in the box and finish for Mo when he needed to, right? And that's what he needs on that far side. Someone who's going to be in the right places to finish off his crosses. So there are players out there you can get and do this. It could be super successful. Now I'll get to Sudge in a second, but Phil, I honestly do feel very confident that Mo's going to be here now next year. I think I'm most confident about him. The way Virg is playing, I'm a bit worried that he might not be going. He might be going, but I think Mo, I'm most confident about, just with all the news that is coming out, and there's more and more. You saw him on the docks today with his Liverpool shirt on. Someone they're filming something. I'm probably not his contract renewal, but there's loads of things out there coming now of different outlets saying he's very close to signing a new contract. There's no smoke without fire. So yeah, I'm getting more and more confident that Mo's going to be okay. I think he just needs the right players around him, and we're not asking him to sprint as much. We're asking him to control what he's doing on that pitch a bit more, because we want to, extend his career. We want him to be here for longer. We want him to be scoring goals and playing with us and effectiveness the way he does.
Frees up his workload as well, though, mate. I think if he is to stay for the next 2-3 years, it elevates Liverpool's game tenfold. That's how you get more goals out of Salah. And we know what.
Jack.
Yeah, we do, 100%.
Better players around him that can finish without him, that can link up with other players in the team, and he's there as the extra. And what an extra that is! It's like the best extra ever, So it just makes us, if we can sign players that are real potent up top, and we have Salah with them, it just goes, this team goes to another level, and it can, even though it's going to win the league, it can be so much better. Like, that's scary, right?
Yeah, that's where you want, and that's how you create. In the 70s and 80s, Liverpool done that. Some players left the club, and obviously everyone that's watched Liverpool time, we're like, oh, maybe. But Bob and the lads knew exactly what you were doing. It's great in that winning culture. You can never, and it's a very good habit having, if you can just start being a bit more consistent. Slot's learned a lot already tonight, and he's learning a lot about the Premier League. And yeah, it's exciting, mate. If we can do the business this season, get it over the line, and we'll certainly celebrate. A lot of Everton and Manchester United fans will have already booked their holidays come at the end of May. But enjoy that. But we'll be having our parties for a couple of weeks, so that's going to be good.
Thank you very much, Sudge, once again for the super chat. Big up, Gags and Jack. Hit the likes and subscribe. That's an Arsenal fan, folks, doing that. Absolutely amazing. Thank you so much, Sudge. We really appreciate you. Brad is saying, I don't know if Liverpool should be thinking about Salah when buying the next attackers, and this is whether he signs or leaves. I think they should be if he's signing, because for 2 years you want to link up with him. So if he's signing, they need to be thinking about it. We need some Mungrove. Okay. If he's saying, could we not maneuver Mo more inside instead of being stuck out on the wing, even if it's a during the game maneuver? I mean, move. Yeah, I would like him to be a 10 at times if he could, but I think that's the problem is with the system with the system that Slot plays, the 10 has to be a workhorse as well as a player, So
and you need that right back as well, though, Gags on you as well as Phil. Yeah. You need a very athletic right back. Obviously,
I think he's fine where he is. But yeah, you're right. Mo should probably be given a bit more freedom. Depends on what happens. But let's see. If he stays, it's great for us, and one less player to think about in the right side, but a lot more to think about, I think, in the other forward positions. To be honest, it's a lot to be done. But yeah, I mean, great to be top of the league and great to be 12 points clear. What a big relief to win in the end. I think everybody's man of the match is Luis Diaz. Lucho was absolutely fantastic tonight. Thank God that we can say that again. And thank God Jota's scored a goal. So I'm not worried about Mo. I think Mo comes good no matter what. I think he'll have a little bit of a couple of game blip, and then he'll bang in 2 or 3 in a row, and everyone's like calling him the best in the world again. I think it's more important that these players that have been bang out of form for so long start to come to the party. You know,
like Salah's carried this team so much, hasn't he, guys?
Yeah,
he has this season. We can't always rely on them, and it's. No. We've had games where Alisson's bailed us out, Jota tonight, and Diaz putting in a shift as well. But one step closer, mate. We'll get.
Salah didn't even have to make a save, did he today? It felt like he was busy, but he didn't have to make a save, did he? Everything was off target, or
no saves.
No. Yeah, and it's probably concerning that Ali's failing a concussion test. 12 days after getting concussed. That doesn't sound good. So I doubt he plays Fulham as well. But well wishes with Ali, and hope he feels better much soon. I don't know if he did fail one, but that's what it points to me as. If he's not playing, if that makes sense, because they're not taking a risk. So I guess it's 12 days. I think it's a 14-day rule. I'm not sure. Is it 14-day rule?
Yeah. You do like the checks as well.
So not good. Bradley's back. So hopefully right back we start to get maybe 45 to 50 to 60 minutes of him. Not sure when Trent's back, but I don't think Trent even plays again. I'm not sure. But they showed him a lot on TV today, and he was happy enough, wasn't he, when we were winning?
Bit of a cheeky boy. When he on the bench? So I don't know if he was laughing or smiling to something someone behind him had said. One of the fans, get the contract out, lad, go to it, because it's a lot more easier when we're winning. But yeah, maybe he knows something that we don't, obviously. Trent, but yeah.
This is something that we're all going to talk about, and we should talk about Slot in a minute. But let's talk about him now. Liverpool FC, Damo says, opting not to follow up their interest in Amorim and opting for Slot as he better fit, or he was a better fit for the current squad makeup, was a real sliding doors moment. It was, Damo, and also at the end of the day, you looked at. I don't think I've seen him so animated on the bench at the end, because you could see that the other Everton game was playing on his mind so much in the last few seconds, where he was like saying to the players 10 more seconds, because the fourth ref must have told him, the ref said 10 seconds, 10 more seconds, lads, focus for 10 more seconds. He was like saying it, and like it just showed me his passion, the robot is actually human, because he does come across robotic sometimes, which is fine. We need that after Klopp. We need someone who's straight level. But the emotions were there today, and when we won, you could see the relief on that man's face, because there's no way he wanted the press and everyone on the players' back after dropping points and Arsenal winning. And, Arsenal play before us for the next few games again, and it's probably done on purpose, let's be honest, because the Premier League won a title race and won a chance. But he's done a fantastic job. I know people will question things in the last month in terms of the Carabao and the PSG and all that. But hey, you can't win everything. And in your first season, this is insane, guys. This is insane. 12 points clear, 8 games to go. We're on cloud 9. And I keep saying it to you. Not sure if we're going to be in this position again for the next 5, 6, 7 years. Who knows? Depends on how we recruit. And if we do recruit well, great. We do it again. I love it. And we'll talk about it. But we got to enjoy this. We got to enjoy this last 2 months of the season, 7 weeks, whatever it is. Just take each game at a time. Don't moan too much. Don't worry about the contracts too much. Take it in, because if you moan about everything else too much, you're not going to live in the moment to win a league title. And let me tell you, 40 years as a supporter, since I was a little kid, and I used to watch it when I was a little kid, and it just felt like it was normal back then to win league titles. But after it didn't happen for so long, to win it in COVID and not celebrate, now we're getting a chance to properly celebrate it, and we're going to focus on the other things instead of focusing on what we should be trying to enjoy. Please don't make the mistake. Enjoy it, every minute of it.
Yeah, with your mates, your family members, and everyone that's there as well.
Be unbearable.
Yeah, be unbearable. Enjoy it. Drink it in, as Gag said. It's spot on. It's and let's hope for the next couple of years we are consistent with this Liverpool side. But players come and go, but what's always there is the fans, all of us, and Liverpool Football Club. And yeah, I'm enjoying it, mate.
Yeah,
And it's stressful. It's going to be
Nicole.
stressful. It's going to be stressful, Gags and Chapo. We will get there in the end.
Yeah, like today was
it's
stressful game, but
Yeah.
so much fun. You
Yeah.
know, enjoyed it.
We
It
would.
was excellent. And then Damo, Rude Minister's campaign for the Man United job's not going well. And then Phil says, "Don't know, Damo. Think he's making all the right moves." Yeah, you know,
Yeah.
getting relegated is exactly what they want. You know, because that's what United should be doing. Like, it's so funny. He won 2 games for United, went and took another job because he wasn't going to get this one, and then going down.
Probably could do with Rude
Oh
Van
wow! Oh
And,
wow!
Oh well, what a shame! What a shame!
What a shame, Ruud van Nistelrooy.
Uh,
But I think we should call it and have an early night tonight. I'm away for the. Oh, by the way, Raza, yes, I thought Robbo had a decent showing today. Wasn't fantastic in all 90. We did some stupid things at times, but overall, much better than he's usually been. You know, so yeah, I do agree with you that he was. Oh, I haven't said anything to agree with, but yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to be here for the Fulham game. I'm away for a little break, but I'll be back the weekend after with, well, actually next week with Grizz at some point, and then hopefully with you, Jack, for the game after. What I did want to end the show on was, and I said this to Ray on the phone when I spoke to her, was about Yan Gorski Mashir. Now, if you haven't ever heard of Yan or spoken to Yan, he was at Fidzi on Twitter, and he was amazing. If you haven't heard the Jumpers for Goalpost podcasts we've released back on our feed, you should go and listen to each and every one of them. He was a performer, he was an entertainer, he was a fountain of knowledge of all things, a great researcher as well, lived through that time and really educated us all on Liverpool, the football club, the city, from through the 60s, the Shankly era, the whole thing. And he did solo pods and group ones as well, you know, with teams. But his solo pods were incredible, and we're releasing those daily right now on the channel. And Fidzi passed away, Yan passed away last Tuesday. And, you know, he was a big kind of shining light for me in the early days of Anfield Index when we started podcasting for the first time in about 11 years ago. And, you know, I was working stupid hours. I was doing like 18-hour days at the time. I was literally editing everything. We didn't have a big team back then. We didn't have Nina Guy editing stuff back then. We didn't have Jack helping behind the scenes. We didn't have a team working behind the scenes. It was really all me. And didn't have Greg already. It was just me at the time, really pushing. I had the help of all the people that were podcasting, but managing things behind the scenes was just all me. And it was tough. And, you know, he was like always there, supporting mental health wise, telling me how well it was going, telling me how much of a difference we're making. And, you know, I just wanted to say, because I wish I'd said it to him while he was alive. Hadn't spoken to him for a while because, you know, he moved out to Luxembourg or France. I think one of the two. Ray's in Luxembourg because she's working there. But I wish I'd, you know, been able to say to him how much he helped me when we were kicking things off. But I hope, you know, I'm saying it now. And also, I wanted to say that a big thank you to him. Big thank you to Ray, because I don't think he would have come on to AI without Ray, who was part of the Liverbirds. And, you know, I think I wish I'd been able to say it to him to his face. But I just want to say thank you to everyone who's ever been part of AI. If I don't ever get to say it to you, I don't want to regret not saying it to you. So, yeah, everyone that's ever helped with this, thank you very much. And I think with that, I'm just going to say rest in peace, Jan, and up the Reds.
Oh.